Today we're reviewing the newly redesigned TrueForm Trainer Manual Curve Treadmill. This manual design allows you to instantly change speeds from 0 to as fast as you can physically run, while the specific shallow curve engineered by TrueForm promotes optimal running form compared to the steeper curve of similar manual treadmill options. This trainer also has features like Bluetooth, heart rate, Zwift, and Strava integration, wheels and handles to move easily around your gym, cushioned treadmill slats, and a 10-year warranty. But as you could probably guess, it has a higher price tag and potentially a large footprint along with a few other things. So let's check it out. Hey guys, this is Michael with the Jungle Gym Reviews. Today we're reviewing the TrueForm Trainer Manual Curve Treadmill. First and foremost, a true runner's treadmill in the fact they differentiate themselves by wanting these to promote good running form strictly due to the actual curvature and design of this treadmill. It's got a shallow running curve, and it actually forces you to keep this more upright posture and this mid-foot striking. In addition to that, it just feels very natural and very good. Now, before I get into the video, if you could quickly hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already, it's going to continue to help us grow the channel. Make sure you get notified when we post weekly review videos throughout the rest of 2025. And if you're interested in purchasing this after the review, please check out that affiliate link in the description below. The price of the trainer is $34.95. As I mentioned again, this is their most economical offering, and this is for a non-motorized manual curve treadmill. None of their offerings are motorized, and this is the version that I probably recommend for most people, strictly because it's not $6,000 like their top-of-the-line version, and it has everything you need for people of all ages and all fitness levels to get a good workout in at home. The basic premise behind this treadmill, why you want this, why you want a manual treadmill. Manual treadmill, first and foremost, has this sort of curve. The belt is extremely smooth. It's cushioned. This is probably one of the first treadmills that doesn't hurt my knees due to the actual cushioning, the thickness of the slats themselves. We might even be able to pick it up here. Here we go. So these are the slats. You know, I can kind of compress them slightly with my fingers, whether it's rubber or some sort of plastic composite. And you can actually see, now that I have this up, all the roller bearings and everything in there as well. And you simply just generating the momentum and force to slide on all these bearings. So the curvature allows for it to roll smoothly. This shallow curve, I actually have to move forward towards the front of the belt here to get it moving. Now, the awesome thing about manual treadmills is the more you move on the front, the faster you go. And the cool thing about manual treadmills is the more you start to lean into it, you can go from walking to sprinting to jogging very fast. And as you lean back in the movement or go towards the back of the treadmill, it stops. So basically, depending on where your position is with respect to front to back and the actual curvature design of the treadmill, completely changes how fast you move, how quick you move, etc. That's the appeal of these manual treadmills, is because you can go, hop on anywhere, no plugs, nothing needed, go to the front, walking. You want to switch from walking to jogging, simply shift your body weight forward a little bit more, and now you're jogging. And you want to go to sprinting, you can lean a little more into it, your momentum gets going, and now you have unlimited speed. You can go as fast as you want. And then as soon as you let your weight sit back, you're back to walking. This feels just super natural. Each step is kind of cushioned along the momentum of your stride, and it just feels really great. And then at the back end, as you push with your feet, your toes actually come up that curve kind of at the same time. So the whole deck, this whole motion of stepping, pushing, planting, way more natural compared to even a motorized treadmill. And it was noticeably different on my joints and just how it felt for running. Obviously, this is a little more challenging because you are powering it. It's actually about, they say about 30% more calories burned than a comparable motorized treadmill. And that makes a lot of sense because you are actually here generating the force, technically pulling with your legs, your core. So if you've ever ran on a motorized treadmill and it's coming at you, you can kind of keep up with it because it's pushing you along. Whereas this, you are modulating your own pace. Each stride, if I start to get tired, whatever that is, you know, it's easy to drop just based on my weight shifting slightly. If my strides aren't as powerful as the ones prior, it kind of forces you to control your pace, set your tone a little bit more, which I think lends itself a lot more to outdoor running. As I mentioned, this is the newly designed TrueForm trainer. So they had this version before. From what I recall, it was just this top bar, but now this time they've added the top bar. They've added this front section called the power bar, which is basically a place for you to put your hands when you go to start sprinting in particular, where you can grab a little bit lower, lean forward into the movement. And it just allows you a more natural way to like drive into a sprint rather than just kind of using your body weight to shift over your front foot and higher up on the treadmill belt in order to generate more of that momentum. The other things on here, it has a very simple monitor. They purposely do this so that metrics you need are on here and pretty much nothing more. If you want to set specific interval modes, again, this treadmill primarily for people that sprint or jog or walk or want to do some combination. So intervals is actually one of the use cases I use this for. I use this a couple times a week for just like a 10-minute interval session where I do 15 seconds of sprints, 45 seconds of walk, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with a little bit of jogging at the end. It also does have heart rate integrated into here, so you can pair it with like a Bluetooth strap, like a Polar. Actually, I have a Whoop strap that will even pair to this very easily so that you can get your heart rate displayed on the monitor. You primarily see these in like sports facilities or people who are doing more performance stuff, but I've used this and I've used something like the Assault Runner in the past for over 3 years that I had it, for everyday walking, for jogging. So you can just use this for absolutely anything you want. Now, they include some things like this water bottle holder, which are not my favorite because this is just kind of, in my mind, a little cheap and an afterthought. When you have a water bottle in here, first of all, if you can fit a water bottle in here, depending on the size of modern water bottles, because it's mounted to this more like floating frame, so you have a water bottle in here jiggling. It's not the best design, but I don't really see a way around it. Obviously, you're not going to have a water bottle holder baked into the frame. So I typically don't even put my water here at all. The other complaint that I don't really care for, so I have like, you know, an iPhone 14, I really don't even know here. You can't really stick it anywhere. In my opinion, they need some sort of little clamp or something here that would be perfect to fit iPhone, you know, some sort of smartphone and or tablet. Again, this whole bare, no frills, this is made for like durability. So they want to really have like thick plastic here, metal here, and there's not really other things that could get broken or go wrong. The monitor's simple, everything's simple, deal well with sweat, the elements, etc. But when you're paying $3,500 for a treadmill and they offer Zwift and Strava integration, there's not enough space here. So if you want to watch YouTube, if you want to watch a TV show, this is kind of incredibly annoying. Not to mention if you try to put it in this way, which I have, it will typically just fall out onto the ground. I would like to see some more way, knowing that we're in the year 2025, we all have smartphones, we all have tablets. I'd like to see some more way to integrate that onto here. Because it has a handle and wheels, you can move it around your gym easily. You can take it outside. This one is noticeably better than my Assault Runner Pro that I owned for 3 years, both in terms of quality and overall functionality. The slats are more cushioned. The pitch is shallower, so it's easier to walk. And the Assault Runner actually ended up hurting my knees because of how high the pitch was over time. You do have to learn to balance and tip in when you want to go fast, but that's true of any similar curved treadmill. The weight rating is 400 pounds at top speed, so this is suitable for literally anyone of any size. The height to the top of the handrails is about 66 inches. Height to the top of the monitor is a little over 72 inches. The footprint is 65 inches long by 30.5 inches wide. The other consideration to note is the top of the running deck itself does add a few inches. So if you're limited on ceiling clearance, you do have to account for the fact the deck is about 13 inches off the ground at the lowest position. It has a 10-year warranty on the frame for the trainer. So this one, again, very good for home use and will last a long time. For me, as someone who likes to jog, zone 2, 20 minutes twice a week. As someone who likes to do interval training, especially as an ex-college soccer player who likes to get on, still test my cardiovascular peak heart rate, those long strides, this is absolutely perfect. I will almost always have or want to have a manual treadmill exactly for that reason. Most treadmills top out at around 12 miles an hour. If you get a commercial version, maybe up to 15. Obviously, then you have more maintenance. This has literally no maintenance, which is one of the main appeals for this type of treadmill. You get on, you run, you can move it around, store it in a corner when not in use. You can stop and start instantly, which are all the pros and appeal of this style treadmill. But the con, again, is probably the price for most people who just want a treadmill to be able to jog on. This is definitely probably 2x the price you are looking for. Most treadmills, if you just want something to jog on that has, a 0 to 12% incline, maybe even 15%, want to go from 0 to 12 miles an hour, you're looking somewhere in the realm of like $1,000 to $1,500. With this, it's $34.95. So I typically only recommend these curved treadmills if you are trying to actively either improve your running form, you are a runner that needs to translate it to outdoors, you want to be able to switch between things fast from walking to jogging to sprinting, and that sprinting, those intervals, is something you want to do because then you are pretty much only looking for a manual treadmill. But you have to also be okay with things like not having a bunch of smart features, not having a screen, not having classes, not having tablets, no games like some other treadmills we reviewed in the past. This thing is no frills, made for runners, made for functionality, and it obviously clearly functions and lives up, in my opinion, to that price range compared to the other options that probably don't do things like running, like sprinting, and promoting good form as well as this does. So guys, that's it for this review on the newly redesigned TrueForm Trainer Manual Curve Treadmill. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer or at least try. Thanks for tuning into the Jungle Gym Reviews. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.